Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Can I Get a Minute? Episode 9, 8? I think it's 9. But season 1, episode 8, I do believe. Today's topic, we're talking about know better, do better. Know better, do better. I'm really excited to talk about this. I really am. Because I just don't understand, y'all. I don't understand. This is why I created Can I Get a Minute? Because I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get how people can know better and never do better. Like, you know what to do, but you still continue to not do anything about it, or you still continue to do the bad things. Like, why? Why? I don't understand. I literally don't understand. Hey, Michelle. I don't get it. I don't. So that's why I needed a minute to talk about this for a second. Like, let's break this down. Let's figure this out. Because I can't understand. I can't. Maybe you're with me. Maybe you just don't get it either. It's like, if you know not to put your hand underneath the fire because it's going to burn you, why do you continuously put your hand underneath the fire and think that you're going to get a different outcome? You're not. You're not at all. Okay, so here's what I mean by know better, do better. A lot of times, we may be the person that people come to and they discuss their problems, and they tell us all the things about everything that's happening, and they're looking for advice. They're looking for somebody to help direct them in the right direction. They're looking for somebody to point them in the right direction. So I have this problem. I'm going to go to somebody. I'm going to go to that person, and then I'm going to tell them what my problem is, and hopefully they'll give me good advice, and then they'll put me in the right direction, right? That's really what sequence of events looks like. Michelle says, girl, I work in mental health. You don't have to tell me. I feel you. See? Michelle gets it. So that's kind of what it is, right? You have these people who have these problems. They come to you because they feel like you are that person for them. So you tell them all the things that would make them a better human being in the world. You tell them all the things that they need to hear. You tell them, you're giving them facts, you're giving them opinions, you're giving them it all. And at the end of that conversation, you feel good. You're like, man, okay, we discussed some things, and I gave you some sound advice, and hopefully you'll take it. But if you don't, you don't. But I really hope that you do, because I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you. Then they turn around and do all the same things that they shouldn't be doing. All the same things that brought them there in the first place. Yes, they're doing all the same things. They have yet to change any habit. And you're on the other side, like, frustrated, like, what is happening here? We had this conversation. We said, this is how you be a productive person in society. This is how you do this. This is how you talk to somebody. This is how you raise your kids. This is how you do whatever, right? And they turn around and do the total opposite. It is bananas. Correct? It drives you crazy. Correct? Correct. It's the fact that they know better, but they just refuse to do better. Because they're so deep-rooted in those negative habits, those habitual rituals that they have become accustomed to. Hey, Loomis. Become accustomed to. Year after year, day after day, hour after hour. It just becomes a part of their life. It becomes a part of their DNA. It becomes a part of their signature MO. Oh, I'm going to keep doing these things because even though you told me I shouldn't do the thing, I'm going to keep doing them because this is the result that I'm getting, and this is the attention that I want. And I don't know if I can step out of that. because I'm too afraid to be anything different than what people are perceiving me to be. I'm too afraid to change. I'm too afraid to do anything different. I'm too afraid to think outside the box. But I want the help. I know I need to change. I know I need to do these things. But that part of me, it's like the devil and the angel. That devil is like, yo, I'm still here. I'm still going to be a deciding factor in your life. So guess what? Let's make all these reckless decisions all over again. It's frustrating. It is absolutely frustrating to watch somebody know that they could do better, know that they have the potential to do better, but they refuse to do better. And here's kind of what I say at that point is, and here's something that I had to learn for myself too as well, is you sometimes you are guided by whatever, the Spirit of the Lord, by the universe, whatever it is that you believe in. You are guided to say these things to these people at this time. And the reason that I say that is because for me, nothing happens by chance. There is no luck. There is no coincidence. Like, this was already ordained. This was already predetermined that this person was going to come into your life at this time, ask you for this help, and then you were going to be compelled to say these things to this person, right? That's just my point of view. That's just my thoughts. That's my perspective. Take it or leave it. So for me, it's though that sequence of events that happens, and oh, hi. Hi, Lewis. I hope you guys are having a great time. But it's those sequence of events that happen in that order. And as frustrating as it is, they just needed to be said. What they do with it on their end is what they do with it on their end. If they choose to listen to what you're going to say, then they listen. If they choose not to listen to what you're going to say, then they're not going to listen. But that has nothing to do with you after you have delivered the message. You just hope and pray that that person is listening clear enough and is mentally stable enough to take your advice, or to, somehow it'll click in their head and be like, oh my God, okay, everything that this person is saying is right. I can be this person that I want to be. I don't have to be this detrimental to my own damn self. Okay? What?
What is the vegetation?
So, with that being said, it is crazy frustrating to be on the other end and watch them do the detrimental things. But you have to. It's kind of that you gotta disconnect after that. Yeah, you do. It's hard. Trust me, it's hard. But you have to disconnect, because that's the lesson that they have to learn in their life in order to do better. You've already said the things that they need to do, but they refuse to do the things. So now we have to leave it into somebody else's, a higher power, to say, okay, well, they ain't getting the message. They ain't doing the thing like I said they should be doing. I did my part. I did my part, God. I did my part, universe. Now it's your turn to step in and show this person, okay, if you're not going to listen to the words, then I'm going to place these obstacles in your life at every single one of these points to help you really understand why it's important to do better. To do better. Why it's important to not continue the same negative habits. Why it's important to change your perspective, to grow in a better mindset, to be able to adapt to different surroundings, to be able to be a productive member of society. I'm going to place these obstacles in your life at each one of these points. Every time you choose to do the negative thing, every time you choose to fall back on that negative habit, I'm going to strategically place these things to test you. To me, that sounds exhausting. That's exhausting. I would rather go the easier route. I would rather go the route of, I come to a person, they tell me the thing, And I do my best to try to execute the thing. I'm not going to try to execute it perfectly. I'm not going to try to be, the number one studious human being. I'm just going to try to do my best. Just my best. To execute exactly what you're saying to the best of my ability. And whatever happens on that end, at least I could say I tried. At least I say I know and I'm doing. It may not come out perfect. It may not come out like I planned it to come out. But at least I tried. I could say that. At least I tried to give it that college effort. Right? Right. Just as simple as that is as hard as that is for so many people to do. So many people to do. I'm telling you, you could tell somebody something until you're blue in the face, but they just don't. It doesn't click for them. And then here's something else. Sometimes it's not their season. You ever thought about that? Like sometimes it's not their season to fully absorb the information that you're giving to them, so it kind of just rolls over their head, and they're like, yeah. And then when that time comes, when it is their season, they look back and they're like, hey, I believe so-and-so told me about this. I believe so-and-so told me that this would happen. But at the time, I couldn't quite see it. At the time, I wasn't like fully there. But now I get it. I get it all the way. So sometimes it's not their season. And that's a hard one to swallow too. For me, it made me question, like, should I even be having this conversation with somebody? Because I know that they're not going to do better. I know, that sounds super negative. But sometimes in your heart of heart, you know. And I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Maybe like episode, 5 or 6. You got to be real with yourself. You got to be real. Don't try to fake the funk. Don't try to put on this facade. Don't do all that. Sometimes you got to be real and you got to say, yo, what are the real odds? What is the reality that I'm looking at? What are the real odds of this person doing the thing? Being the person. And sometimes when you're not honest, you set yourself up for failure, because in your heart of heart, you know those people that are coming to you, because they come to you all the time. And yeah, you want to be like super optimistic and you're like, yeah, I have hope, I have faith. That's totally fine. But also be real. Be real. Yeah, things can change all the time. What you expect to happen can sometimes totally change. You could expect them to just screw it all up. But maybe it was their season and everything that you said made sense to them now, even though you've been saying it for years. I've experienced that. First and foremost, I've had people come to me and I say the same thing over and over and over, and I've been saying it for years. It's almost been a decade. And they don't get it. They don't get it. They say they get it, but they don't get it. And then all of a sudden, they come back and I'm like, man, we've had this conversation 1,000,001 times. Why are we going through the same motions? I want to get off this roller coaster. I'm about done. But somehow it's now their season and everything just clicks. They're like, oh, I get it. Okay, I understand. I figured it out. I got a plan. I know what I need to do. I know how I need to handle this. So here's the moral of the story. Here is the rainbow at the end of this dark tunnel. Don't make things so complicated. If you are the type of person that's on the other side, you're the one that goes to somebody and they keep telling you these things, but you're not listening. You keep falling into the bad habits. If you are that person, no shame, no shade, no shame, none of that here. But I'm saying to you right now, stop making this more complicated for yourself. Stop making this more complicated. Take the things that they're saying and actually do better. Take the things that they're saying and actually use them. Take the things that they're saying and apply them to your life. They're saying it for a reason. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't by accident. This wasn't like some sort of sick joke. You're not being punished in any way. It's literally the sequence of events that have to happen in order for you to fully understand how the hell to be a better human being today. Okay? Don't make this more complicated. Don't. Now, if you were on the flip side of that and you have people coming to you and asking you all the questions and needing all the advice and everything, you're compelled to say what you're going to say. You're compelled to say what you're going to say. It's like I said, it's already preordained. It's written down already. You're just following the sequence of events. But once you say the thing, you've got to be able to detach yourself from it. You have to be able to say the thing and kind of walk away from it. Not check up on it, not monitor it, not control it, not babysit it, and not do any of that. Because it's all in their court now. You have check past the ball, check bounce the ball to them. The ball's in their court. They're bouncing it around. They've got to take their shot. If they don't take their shot, that's on them. You did your part. I put the ball into play. I check bounced it to you. I think that's how you say it. I only played basketball for a little while. But I passed the ball to you. The ball is now inbounds. And now, guess what? It's your turn. Hey, Cydia, it's your turn. It's your turn to take the shot. So if you don't take the shot, then that's on you. But know that you as the person that they are coming to has done their part. So detach yourself. Learn to detach yourself. It sucks. It's awful. You feel bad, but don't feel bad. Because you can't babysit them. You can't monitor them. You can't control. You can't constantly watch and be a helicopter person. They call it like helicopter mom, but you can't do that. That's exhausting. That's tiresome. And that's not going to get you the result that you want. So just learn how to say the thing that you were compelled to say. And then let them know, I've said these things. Now it's your turn to take the action. Do better. Now that you know, now do better. Don't go back in the past and say, well, and give yourself a bunch of excuses. Don't go back in the past and try to relive it. Don't go back in the past and try to feel bad for it. Because what's done is done. That's about it. It's a wrap. What you could do now moving forward is just do better. You have the information. So now take the action to do better. Bam. I'm telling you, as simple as it is to say, is as hard as it is for people to do. Stop making life so like life sucks as it is. 2020 is the worst. Stop making it more complicated. Stop being that person that is just adding more fuel to the fire. Stop digging yourself into a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. So all you're doing is digging yourself deeper and deeper into the trenches. You're digging your way to China. So don't. Don't dig your way to China. Get out of the hole and start applying the things that people are saying to you. Whether they work or they don't work. At least at the end of the day, you can say you tried. At least at the end of the day, you can say, you know what? I gave it the effort. I put in everything I had. I put all my eggs into one basket. I did the best that I could with the information that I was given. And I tried to do the thing, whatever it was. I tried to be a better person. I tried not to be angry. I tried to treat my kids better. I tried to be more attentive. I tried to show my spouse some attention. I tried to do whatever it was. At least at the end of the day, you could say that. So don't be the person that makes it more complicated by continuing with the bad habits and the habitual years of unhealthy destruction. Just to put it mildly. Don't be that person. Know better and do better. Know better and do better. Okay? So that's all I got for this episode. Thank you so much for joining me here on Can I Get a Minute? We're here every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this is just simply where I take a minute to talk about a topic that's just on my brain. And we try to break it down to the best of our abilities and give some helpful tips, have some conversations, and, we just go from there. That's it. It's just, can I get a minute? Sometimes you just need a minute to talk about the thing that's on your mind. You need just a minute to break it down, to further understand it, to get it, to comprehend it, to vent about it, whatever it is. All right. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will catch you next time. Don't forget to like this, share this, tag some people in it, whatever it is that you want to do with it. That would be wonderful. But I'll catch you guys next time.